They always described you the same way: too kind, too forgiving, too patient, who stayed calm while everyone else lost control. The type of soul who gave people second chances even when they never deserved the first one. And because of that, people underestimated you. They mistook your silence for weakness, your compassion for softness, your restraint for fear. But what they never understood was that the most dangerous people are rarely loud. The truly dangerous ones are the people who learned how to survive pain without losing their soul. And that is exactly who you became, because your story was never about anger. It was about transformation. The strange part is, you never wanted conflict. You avoided it your entire life. You tried to keep peace. You tried to understand people. You tried to see the good in everyone, even in those who secretly enjoyed hurting you, even in those who betrayed your loyalty, even in those who smiled in front of you while competing with you behind your back. You kept forgiving, kept understanding, kept staying calm. But pain does something to a person after enough years. Not weakness, not destroy. Awareness changes everything, because eventually you stop explaining yourself. You stop begging people to value you. You stop chasing approval. You stop trying to convince the world that your heart is pure. And the moment that happened, your energy changed. People noticed it immediately. The same people who ignored you started watching you. The same people who doubted you became uncomfortable around you, because there is something terrifying about a person who no longer needs validation, especially when that person was once emotionally dependent on being understood. Type "I see through it now" in the comments, not as a threat to anyone, as the first public acknowledgement of the clarity that arrived after the pain. The moment you stopped explaining yourself and started simply seeing, enter it into the open. Let it be on record that the clarity came and you recognized it. You became quieter, but stronger, calmer, but harder to manipulate, detached, but more focused than ever before. And that transformation confused everyone, because they were expecting you to break, not evolve. They thought betrayal would destroy your confidence. Instead, it sharpened your instincts. They thought isolation would make you weak. Instead, it introduced you to yourself. That was the mistake they made. They pushed you into solitude without realizing solitude was your training ground. While they were distracted by noise, you were rebuilding your mind, rebuilding your spirit, rebuilding your discipline, and little by little, you stopped reacting emotionally to everything. You started observing. You started understanding patterns. You started noticing how fake respect works, how manipulation works, how jealousy hides itself behind fake concern, how weak people attack kind souls, because kindness reminds them of everything they are not. And suddenly, you could see through everyone. Not because you became cynical, but because pain removed your innocence. That is what made you dangerous. Not revenge, not rage, clarity. Because once you truly see people, they can never control you the same way again. Type 444 in the comments right now. 444 is the number of angelic witnesses, the confirmation that the transformation no one saw happening was being watched and recorded the entire time. Every night you rebuilt in silence. Every season you survived alone. None of it was unseen. Let 444 be the acknowledgement of witnesses that were present when no one else was. You started noticing how some people only called when they needed energy from you, how some people secretly enjoyed seeing you struggle, how certain people became uncomfortable the moment your life started improving. And for the first time in your life, you stopped shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. That changed everything, because your silence became heavier. Your presence became stronger. Your energy became impossible to ignore. And suddenly, people who once overlooked you started feeling intimidated by you. Not because you became arrogant, but because you finally understood your worth. There is something deeply unsettling about someone who no longer fears losing people. Because attachment is where manipulation survives, and you broke free from it. That freedom gave you power. The kind of power that cannot be faked. The kind of power people feel before you even speak. You notice it now. The strange reactions, the weird tension, the way people study you quietly, the way insecure individuals become defensive around you for no reason. It is because your energy exposes people. Without trying, without effort, without words, your presence forces masks to fall. And most people are terrified of being seen clearly, especially by someone they once underestimated. That is why your transformation feels dangerous to them, because they remember the old version of you, the version that tolerated disrespect, the version that stayed quiet to keep peace, the version that ignored red flags. That version is gone now, and they can feel it. Now, when someone crosses you, you do not explode emotionally. You detach, you observe, you remove access, and that silence hurts people more than arguments ever could. Because your silence now carries certainty, it carries discipline, it carries self-respect. You no longer chase closure, you no longer explain your value, you no longer fight to be understood, and people can feel that shift immediately, especially manipulators, especially narcissists, especially energy drainers. They feel powerless around you now because your emotional reactions used to feed them, but your calmness starves them. And nothing frustrates toxic people more than losing access to your emotions. That is why some people suddenly call you cold. But you are not cold, you are healed. There is a difference. A healed person no longer tolerates confusion disguised as love, no longer tolerates disrespect disguised as honesty, no longer tolerates inconsistency disguised as being busy. That healing made you precise, focused, intentional, and precision terrifies chaotic people. Because chaos survives through emotional weakness, gently press the like button right now, not for the channel, for yourself, as the first act of someone who finally stopped shrinking and started choosing. Every person this reaches was sent there by your single press. You chose yourself. Start here, but your mind is different now. You learned discipline through suffering. You learned emotional control through betrayal. You learned awareness through loneliness. And now your presence carries something rare, inner power, not loud power, not fake alpha energy, real power. The kind built in silence, the kind built during nights nobody saw, the kind built while surviving battles nobody understood. People only see your strength now. They did not see the pain that created it. They did not see the nights you questioned your worth, the moments you felt abandoned, the times you sat alone trying to understand why people treated you unfairly. They did not see the tears, the anxiety, the emotional exhaustion. But those moments changed you forever, because eventually you stopped asking why and started asking, what is this pain trying to teach me? That question changed your life because pain stopped being punishment. It became preparation. Every betrayal taught discernment, every rejection taught independence, every lonely season taught self-reliance. Every attack strengthened your spirit. There is someone still calling their pain punishment, still asking why instead of what is this building in me, still in the season that broke you into who you are, with no one around to reframe what they are walking through. What just landed in you about pain becoming preparation did not arrive so you could hold it alone. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, plant a seed into this mission, into the content that finds the next person still inside their isolation, still rebuilding in silence, still waiting for someone to tell them the solitude was a training ground, not a sentence. A coffee, a seed, or a seat as a co-owner of what gets built from here. Bring into your seed the specific season that felt like destruction and turned out to be construction, the betrayal that taught you the most, the rejection that finally forced independence. Place that inside what you release, and trust that the same clarity that came to you through that season is the clarity now moving through your seed towards someone who still cannot see it yet. Pain already did its work in you. Now it travels forward. And now you walk differently. You think differently. You carry yourself differently. There is weight behind your silence now. People can sense it, even strangers feel it, because real transformation changes your entire energy. You no longer need attention to feel important. You no longer need approval to feel valuable. You no longer need revenge to feel powerful, and ironically, that is exactly what makes you powerful, because the strongest people in the world are usually the ones who mastered themselves, and self-mastery is rare. Most people are controlled by emotions, controlled by ego, controlled by validation, controlled by fear. But suffering forced you inward, and inward is where your power was hidden. You discovered patience, discipline, awareness, emotional intelligence, spiritual strength. And now people mistake your calmness for intimidation, because calm energy is unsettling in a chaotic world, especially when it comes from someone who survived darkness without becoming cruel. That is your rarest quality. You did not become evil after pain. You became wiser, sharper, but still human, still compassionate, still capable of love. You simply learned boundaries, and boundaries are powerful, because access to you is no longer free. People now have to respect your energy to stay close to you, and many cannot handle that. They miss the version of you that tolerated everything, but growth changes relationships. Not everyone can come with you into your next level. Some people were only assigned to your life temporarily, to teach lessons, to trigger awakening, to force transformation. And once the lesson is complete, their presence becomes unnecessary. That is why your circle became smaller. Not because you failed socially, but because your spirit evolved. Type "I chose peace" in the comments. Not because you had no other options, because you understood what you were carrying, the restraint that people mistook for weakness. The power that was always present, but never needed to announce itself. Type it out. Let it exist in the open, as a statement of someone who finally understood the difference between choosing peace from fear and choosing peace from strength. Low-frequency environments started exhausting you. Fake conversations started draining you. Meaningless attention stopped impressing you. Your soul started craving depth, peace, purpose, and once that happens, you can never return to who you used to be. You start protecting your energy differently. You start choosing silence over arguments, distance over drama, purpose over approval, peace over popularity. And suddenly, people who once controlled your emotions realize they no longer have influence over you. That realization terrifies them because your detachment exposes their weakness. You became emotionally independent, and emotionally independent people are extremely difficult to manipulate. That is why your presence now feels dangerous. Not physically dangerous, spiritually dangerous. Because weak minds cannot control strong souls. You no longer react impulsively. You no longer seek revenge immediately. You no longer waste energy proving yourself. You simply focus, build. And that quiet elevation speaks louder than words ever could, especially to those who expected your downfall. Nothing confuses people more than seeing someone heal after being broken, because most people expect pain to destroy you. But your pain refined you. It burned away illusions, burned away dependency, burned away insecurity, until only strength remained. Not perfect strength, human strength, the kind that still feels pain, but keeps moving anyway. That is real power, and your enemies can feel it now. The people who underestimated you feel it. The people who betrayed you feel it. The people who laughed at your kindness feel it, because now they realize something terrifying. Your kindness was never weakness. It was restraint. You always had power. You simply chose peace, and there is nothing more dangerous than a peaceful person who finally understands their own strength. Type 777 in the comments right now. 777 is divine completion, the number that fires when pain has finished its assignment in you and the lesson is fully sealed. The betrayal taught everything it came to teach. The loneliness built everything it came to build. The silence forged everything it came to forge. Let 777 mark the moment you acknowledge that the work is done, and what remains is only strength. Because once that awareness activates, everything changes. Your standards rise, your focus sharpens, your intuition deepens, your energy becomes protected, and suddenly your life starts transforming rapidly. Not because of luck, but because clarity removes distractions. You stop wasting energy on people who drain you. You stop chasing places where you are not valued. You stop begging for love that should be natural. And all that saved energy begins building your future instead. That is why your glow-up feels spiritual, because it started internally. Long before it became visible externally, your confidence now comes from survival, not ego, not attention, not status, survival. You survived betrayal, isolation, disappointment, emotional warfare, and somehow you still remained kind. That alone makes you rare. Most people become bitter after pain. You became disciplined, and discipline changes destiny, because once your emotions stop controlling your actions, your future changes completely. Now, your silence has direction, your focus has purpose, your energy has standards, and your life starts moving differently. You notice opportunities appearing unexpectedly. You notice peace replacing chaos. You notice intuition becoming stronger. That is not coincidence, that is alignment. Your spirit finally stopped fighting itself, and when inner conflict disappears, external progress accelerates. That is why your enemies feel uncomfortable watching you rise, because they remember how broken you once were. They remember the version of you that doubted yourself, the version that tolerated disrespect, the version that stayed emotionally attached to toxic people. But that person no longer exists, and deep down they know they cannot access the new version of you. You evolved beyond manipulation, beyond emotional dependency, beyond fear, and evolution changes your frequency. Now people either respect your presence or they remove themselves naturally. There is no middle ground anymore, because your energy demands authenticity, and fake people cannot survive around authentic power for long. What was built in you through the silence, the betrayal, the isolation, the rebuilding, that is not a private possession. The person who is now operating from awareness instead of survival has something to give that no one who stayed comfortable can offer. Not advice. Evidence. Evidence that the pain builds something real, that the training ground produces someone real, that what comes out of the silence is stronger than what went in. Through the link in the description or the pinned comment, plant a seed into this mission, into the content that reaches the next person still in their solitude, still rebuilding, still not yet able to see what is being formed in them. A coffee, a seed, or a seat as a co-owner of what this mission is building, not a general release. Bring the specific quality that only came from surviving what you survived, the discipline that could not have been manufactured any other way, the clarity that only arrived after the chaos cleared, the self-mastery that only formed under pressure. Place that alongside your seed and trust that what you became in the silence is exactly what reaches the next person still inside theirs. You no longer operate from survival alone, your seed proves it. That solitude became sacred. You learned how peaceful life becomes when your energy is not constantly being drained. You learned how powerful focus becomes when distractions disappear. You learned how dangerous discipline becomes when combined with emotional intelligence. Now, you move differently. You observe more, speak less, feel deeply, but react carefully, and that emotional control is what separates you from most people, because emotional control is power. Not suppression, mastery. You mastered the ability to stay calm under pressure, to remain focused during chaos, to think clearly while others panic, and people can feel that strength instantly. While others lose themselves emotionally, you become even calmer, even sharper, even more focused. That is not weakness, that is evolution. Pain trained your nervous system, loneliness trained your mind, silence trained your spirit. And now, you carry yourself with quiet certainty. You no longer need to announce your strength. People feel it naturally. The room changes when you enter. Conversations shift around your energy. Weak people become defensive. Strong people become respectful, because real recognizes real. Your spirit now carries experience, wisdom, survival. That combination is powerful, especially in a world addicted to superficiality. Most people fake confidence. You built yours through suffering. That is why your presence feels different. It is earned, not performed. Type "I mastered myself" in the comments. It is one of the rarest sentences a person can say honestly, not as a claim of perfection, as a record of the work done in private. The emotional control built through suffering, the discipline built through betrayal, the awareness built through loneliness. Most people never get there. You did. Let it be stated publicly. Heaven recorded the nights. Now let the open record reflect what those nights produced. And somewhere along the journey, you finally understood something life-changing. Your sensitivity was never the problem. Your kindness was never the problem. Your heart was never the problem. The problem was giving your energy to people who never deserved access to it. Once you understood that, everything changed. You stopped over-explaining, stopped over-giving, and started protecting your peace instead. That protection transformed your reality, because peace multiplies power, clarity multiplies focus, and focus multiplies results. Now your life is no longer controlled by emotional chaos. It is guided by purpose. That purpose makes you unstoppable. Not because you never feel pain, but because pain no longer controls your direction. You learned how to carry pain without becoming it. And that is one of the rarest forms of strength a human can possess. People who hurt you unknowingly created this version of you. The betrayals built discernment, the loneliness built independence, the rejection built resilience, the silence built wisdom, and now the very experiences meant to break you became fuel. Fuel for your evolution, fuel for your focus, fuel for your next level. That is why your future feels different now, because you are no longer operating from survival alone. You are operating from awareness, and awareness changes destiny. You finally know who you are, not who people told you to be, not who trauma shaped you into temporarily. The real you, calm, disciplined, powerful, and impossible to manipulate. Type 888 in the comments right now. 888 is the number of the new era beginning, the code that fires when someone stops operating from survival and starts operating from awareness. The rebuilding is complete. The frequency has shifted. The next chapter is not about surviving what was done to you. It is about moving from everything that was built inside you because of it. Let 888 mark the first step of that era. That is why your energy feels dangerous now, because you no longer abandon yourself to keep others comfortable. You no longer sacrifice your peace to maintain fake connections. You no longer dim your light to protect insecure people. You finally chose yourself, and that decision changed everything. Now your presence carries something undeniable: strength without noise, confidence without arrogance, power without cruelty, and peace without weakness. That combination is rare. Rare energy always intimidates ordinary minds. So if people suddenly act differently around you, understand why. You changed, not externally first. Internally, your spirit matured. Your awareness deepened, your boundaries strengthened, and your silence became powerful. They can feel it, even if they cannot explain it, because deep down, every soul recognizes true transformation when it stands in front of them. And your transformation is impossible to ignore. You are no longer the person who needed saving. You became the person who survived the storm alone, and that survival created something extraordinary inside you. A calm fire, a disciplined spirit, a focused mind, a dangerous level of self-awareness. Not dangerous, because you seek destruction. Dangerous because nothing external controls you anymore. Not fear, not betrayal, not loneliness. You mastered yourself, and once a person masters themselves, their entire reality changes forever. Subscribe and stay in this frequency. What comes next in this space is built for the version of you that just recognized itself in these words, not the old version. The one that survived, the one that rebuilt, the one operating from awareness now. Let it find you without you having to search for it. And if someone came to mind while reading this, someone still in the season that forged you, someone still calling their isolation punishment, someone who has not yet been told that solitude is a training ground, send this to them without explanation. Just place it in their path. Your one act could be the moment the reframe arrives for them. The moment pain stops being something that happened to them and starts being something that is building them. You are no longer the person who needed saving. Walk like it.